Hey guys, just wanted to shoot a quick update video to show the projects that are going in the shop. Talk a little bit about the shop move, which is delayed a bit. There's a spot behind the shop and behind the house. It's on the same property. They're going to be doing a bunch of grading. So pretty much we can't run electrical out there until the grading's completed because you don't know where we can bury the wire, depending on where the final grade sits. So I think the sub panel is going to go in out there, but anyway, that got a little bit delayed because of the grading, which should be happening I think in the next couple of months here. So I'll get some footage of what it's looking like out there. There's already some trees that have come down behind the shop, and the cool thing is all of the fill for the eventual shop expansion is going to come from behind the house that's on that property. So it'll just get pushed over and then all filled in behind the shop. So in the meantime, it'll be a nice spot where I can maybe put a lean-to, have some storage, maybe make a shed off the back of the building to put the air compressor, that kind of thing. But eventually, that'll be where we can kind of expand the shop. So, but yeah, let me just show you what we have going on. There's a lot of walnut slabs in here right now. This slab, I don't know if I've showed these before, but this morning what I'm going to work on is pulling off some of this bark, and then this whole crack here I'm going to fill with epoxy. This is going to probably take a few different coats, probably three to five coats to fill this. This is a pretty significant crack, obviously, but I got the piece knowing that it had the crack in it, so I think it's going to look good with some black epoxy down the center of this. And this will be a pedestal-based kitchen table. This is Bug the Thug right here. She's our foster dog right now. So we have 3 dogs in the house right now. Let's see what else. Okay, so these are 2 book matched. Obviously this one's flipped around the other way. These are 2 book matched side tables. So they're going to be on opposite ends of a couch. When you look at the couch, you're going to see, you know, the same grain pattern on both side tables, which I think is going to be pretty cool. A lot of this epoxy, this blacked out epoxy, is overfill. So you can see here underneath the dust, there were some significant voids where there was a pretty large knot here, and obviously the same thing over here. And that I filled. That took about 5 coats, and then I just kind of took it down to, I planed it down and took it to 220. And then the rest of this stuff, there's some end cracks here, some checking on both sides. But the rest of these are just very, very small defects. And what I found works really well is overfill them with epoxy by a significant amount. And then once I do the final finish, a lot of these things will just disappear into the grain. So, you know, they'll end up looking much more like this look down here. So right now it looks like there's a ton of epoxy in there. Really a lot of those flaws probably didn't need to get filled, but as long as I have the epoxy mixed up, it doesn't hurt to fill them at that stage. And then if they get taken off completely in the final sanding, that's fine too. But so that's the side table project that I have going. My friend hooked me up with a good deal on a portable window AC. So what I'm going to be doing in here, since I'm doing more slab work and the humidity's starting to rise, is I'm running a small household humidifier over on this side of the shop, but it's not really adequate for this space. So this unit's getting replaced with an industrial grade humidifier. So I'm going to run a humidifier over here to keep the humidity under 50% most of the time, or all of the time actually during the summer. So that, and then in conjunction with running this portable AC unit over on this side, I think I should be able to maintain a pretty consistent humidity level all summer long. Last summer it was a pain because it was ridiculously hot out here and the humidity was crazy, so obviously that doesn't make it the best situation for woodworking. But I'm not really looking to bring the temperature down too far with this. I would just like to get a little bit of the dehumidification out of this AC, and then keep the main side of the shop that I'm working on under 80 degrees is my goal, and then keep humidity under 50%. So the other piece here is going to be a walnut dining table. This will have a metal base as well. The tricky part about this table was that this is another book match set of slabs, but to keep the thickness, I wanted to keep as much thickness as possible. But what ended up happening with these slabs is the slab on the left had a cup, a slight cup when it dried. The slab on the right had a slight crown. So obviously then you're going to lose more thickness if you took them both down to flat, especially if I didn't have the glue line perfect. So what I ended up doing is I deliberately left this one a little thicker, and I did not take the crown completely out of it. I flattened this one as best as I could. Then I glued them together, deliberately leaving this one a little bit thicker so that the glue line would have a taller edge on this side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this whole table back on the slab jig, take that corner over there, flatten the whole slab to the same thickness as this side. So I haven't done it this way before. I've always tried to get both pieces closer to the final thickness before, but I think this might allow me to get a little bit more thickness out of the two pieces without having to just because of the way the configuration happened with the one cup and the one crown and which sides I wanted facing up because of the book match and the table being live edges on both sides. So anyway, that one's in the works now. I have a decent amount of time left on that one, so I think that one's going to sit for a little bit, for a week or so, and then I'm going to try and wrap up the finish on these side tables in the next week. And then I have to weld the bases for these. I like to get these finished and delivered before I jump back over to this one too much. Plus, every time you hook up the slab jig in here, I have some pictures on Instagram, but the dust is just ridiculous, and there's pretty much nothing you can do. I mean, you can run some dust collection over there, but the router is just throwing up so much dust and so many chips that you can see everything in here is covered. So once that's done, I'll blow all this off and do a good cleaning before I do any finishing. But anyway, a lot of this stuff, I got to clean out some of this. I got too much scrap wood going. If anybody is in Minneapolis, St. Paul area and needs small scraps for whatever you're working on, let me know, because I have a whole room in my basement full of scraps. Plus, as you can see, a whole bunch of stuff like this all the time. So let's see what else. Only other things, I picked up this new toolbox. I really like this. I wanted to be able to store some of my planes and stuff in there, but I didn't put the wheels on it, and turns out I love it like that. I kind of wish none of these had wheels on them. I should probably take them off, but inevitably you get a bunch of dust under there. Well, if you don't have wheels on it, you don't have that problem. And it's not like I ever moved my toolboxes, so I might start doing that. Oh, the other thing, so Laguna, I finally got this thing hooked up. It was a bit of a disaster, honestly. Laguna sent me the wrong, so when I got this, I ordered it off Amazon. And in the box, I did not get the hardware to hook up the fence or the knuckle. And so I contacted Laguna customer support, and it took them 4 attempts to ship out the right parts. They shipped me the wrong part twice, and then they shipped me, and even when they did finally ship me the right part, they didn't include any of the hardware. So I just went to the hardware store and bought it myself. It was kind of ridiculous, but the saw is great, but that experience was not so great. So a lot of the reviews online for this bandsaw are really good. I would agree, it works great. But if you ever need parts, that was less than impressive. So I'm not, too upset about it, but it is what it is, I guess. So anyway, that's a quick update. I'm gonna lay some plastic out on this table, get ready to fill that slab, hopefully film a little bit of it, and go from there. So thanks for watching.
All right, so that's just the first coat here. I don't want to get too aggressive. I just want to build a bridge across the bottom of the crack. And then with the next 2 coats, the second coat's really the fill coat, and the third coat's kind of the finish coat. So anyway, that's a quick run. Thanks for watching.